So it's Wednesday. It's kind of cloudy here, and but spring is hopefully coming. So today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. We're a little bit off what I usually do. I'm usually doing a live demo for those of you that might be new here. I'm usually using doing a live demo every Wednesday, and but this week I thought I would address something that I think that is probably affecting most of us, and if not right now, then at some point or another. So we all know that the world's in a little bit of turmoil right now, to say the least, and that could be getting you down. You could be watching the news and doom scrolling and all of this kind of stuff. Or maybe you're worried about your finances, or maybe you're worried about a friend or a relative who is ill or something like that. These are normal things that we all feel. Now, keep in mind, I am no psychiatrist or anything like that. I'm not a motivational speaker or anything like that. But I found myself experience many of the same feelings that I had at the beginning of COVID, where there was all this uncertainty and the news was bad upon bad upon bad. And, things were kind of getting to me. And I admit the first, I don't know, month or so, I probably just slept in every day, eating junk food. I was going through all of the motions of watching the number of cases increasing and the number of deaths increasing and things like that. It was like very it was really bringing me down. And I got to a point where it's like I can't do this for 2 years. I can't do it. So I decided that what I needed to do was to actually just knuckle down and do something about it. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to watch any of that. If anything important happens in the world, you're going to know about it. You don't have to go looking for it. So turn off your phone for a while and pick up your brushes or pick up your pencil. And you're probably thinking, yeah, but my mind's going and it's not really letting me. I can't think of anything to paint and I just don't feel like it and all of this kind of stuff. And these are all normal things, I think. But what I thought, well, what can I do? Maybe I can work on my marketing. Okay, maybe I'll think about doing things to figure out alternatives for making money, because I'm an active teacher. I'm teaching all of the time, and I couldn't. I'm also an artist, so I couldn't display my work anywhere. So what do I do in a lockdown? How do I get around this? So what I did was I started watching marketing videos and things like that. And I started watching other artists and trying to find out, what are they doing? What are they doing that I can borrow those ideas from in terms of how to cope through a difficult time? So first, let me just say a shout out to Jan. I'm so sorry. I'm reading in the chat. I'm so sorry you lost your pet. It is a difficult time. They do get awful lot like family, and yeah. So you could very much feel in the dumps about this, and it is hard to get yourself motivated. I found that connecting was the way for me. Connecting with like-minded people. People that were feeling kind of the same. And I knew that a lot of my students were expressing that same feeling of being overwhelmed, overwhelmed with news and not motivated and uninspired. I don't know. I just can't seem to pick up my brushes, kind of thing. I heard a lot of that. So I thought, okay, well, let's kind of make each other accountable. And so I started doing these live streams, and I found that connecting with people that do the same sort of thing as you do, with the same interests and things like that, can help pull you out of your rut. You can you'll find that sort of camaraderie is very important in difficult times. So if you don't have a lot of painting friends, maybe you live in a rural area. Well, thank goodness we live in the days of Zoom and Skype and all of those kinds of things where we can actually chat with each other in live time. Make a commitment to your friend, or get your friends together and paint together or do things like that. But what I did with my marketing was that I learned that I needed to do a lot more things to reach out, and this connection was part of it. So connecting with people, joining groups. Okay, so if you're not a member of a local art society or an art guild or a gallery in your area or something like that, this might be a really good time to do that. You will find inspiration in like-minded people. But what if you have, like if you're stuck at home the way we were in COVID? There was a lot of groups, and it was an interesting sort of observation. I belonged to a lot of groups, and some of them kind of went, I think we better just wait this one out. I guess we can't do any meetings or anything like that. And those groups, their membership just plummeted. It just went right down. Other groups that I watched latched on. They didn't know how to do, Zoom group workshops or anything like that, but they decided this is a good time to learn. And one of the best things I think that you can do for yourself is to take this opportunity to learn something new. So, I mean, the fact that you're here shows that you're interested in learning things anyway. But learn something new, something you don't know. I had to go through a whole learning curve with the pandemic thing and learning how to do what I'm doing right now. I didn't know how to do multiple screens or anything like that. So I had to do a lot of sort of research, self-teaching. And thank goodness YouTube has just about every imaginable type of learning that you could hope for. And how lucky we are to live in a time where we have these resources, and that they are still, at least for the most part, these are free. So this is great. Great news for us. Now, the other thing that I did, and I'm not going to just chat through the whole thing. I'm going to do a little bit of sketching or something. Actually, maybe I'll switch over to my sketchbook here for a moment while I'm talking. Now, I have no idea what I'm going to draw here. I have no idea. I'm just going to doodle. But one of the other things that I decided I needed to do during the pandemic, and like now, is I need to start taking care of my physical self as well. So I decided to eat better. I decided to exercise. Now, it was not that easy to get out to exercise that much. You saw somebody coming down the street and you'd cross the road kind of deal. It was like a little ridiculous now that we look back on it. But, even watching a movie or something like that, I would stand in spot and I would move. I would just basically pretend that I was walking. I was moving. All right, moving. Music. Oh my goodness, music is one of the most wonderful things that you can add to your day. It can change your mood. You can hear sad violins and things like that, and that might match your mood. But if you're trying to get out of that, put in something that you can connect with a great memory, or something with a happier beat, things like that. but eating well and sleeping well. I found that sleeping actually, I was kind of sleeping, but not really sleeping well. So I started getting into routine. So routine was a big thing. Let me just check some of my chat here just to make sure I haven't missed any questions or anything. But as I'm talking right now, I would really love to hear your ideas. I don't want to get into nothing political, please. This is not a political channel. I don't want to go down that path. It is something on our minds, but I want to talk about resolving ways of how it is affecting you. Not the politics itself, but how the news is affecting you personally. All right, so I've got a sketchbook. I just grabbed, I grabbed this like 2 minutes ago kind of thing. I just grabbed something that I could draw. It could be anything, like, I could take this box of pens. I could take, I don't know, my remote control. It doesn't matter what you're drawing. It's just get your pencils moving, and then your brushes and things like that. Like if I wanted to, I could just scribble on my page and then just fill in the scribbles and try shading, try lifting, try throwing salt on a few things, just experiment with a couple of things. We all look for motivation and inspiration. And, sometimes we think we look outside of ourselves for inspiration. Inspiration is inside. It comes from within. So like if I were to just draw this, okay, so I'm going to talk and I'm going to doodle this. Think of it like doodling, okay? I'm using a sketchbook because this isn't an important thing. I'm not trying to do anything with pressure where I'm trying to make a masterpiece or anything like that. I'll turn it this way. So as I'm looking at this, now I'm going to draw it because I'm seeing it at a different perspective, but I'm just going to draw as I'm talking here. And the thing with motivation and where it comes from, you can look at 1,000,001 videos, and you know what happens with the algorithm. The algorithms, it's a good thing, but it's a terrible thing at the same time. And what I mean by that is that it, if you look at somebody's video and, because you think, oh, I want to get inspired by somebody else's video, and you look at it, and what happens is that the algorithm instantly shows you another one so that they keep you engaged. And then you go down this rabbit hole of, just doing nothing but watching videos. So watching videos is not a way to inspire yourself. Now, that's a terrible thing for somebody doing a video to tell you, but it is the truth. You could really get lost down that rabbit hole. So during the pandemic and now, I am really making a point of not trying to get lost in that. The algorithm is like it's like crack. It's just kind of, you get hooked on it, and it just sucks you in, and it completely before you know it, you've completely used up your day. So at the very least, get a pencil and paper out and be doing something. So I'm drawing this and I'm trying to get my perspective right. And, this is just get those motor skills going again. Sometimes just those motor skills can help create get those juices going. I kind of like this, and something will happen. There'll be like a kind of a turning point. Any of you ever try to lose weight? You know that, we snack and we snack and we snack and we say, oh, we'll start tomorrow. Or we make a New Year's resolution and it's like, January 1st, I'll start, kind of thing. Like, start this moment right now. Pick up your pencil and go. Or, you're not going to stick another potato chip in your mouth. There's this kind of switch that gets flipped where it's like, okay, that's it. I'm so tired of being fat. I'm going to go. And that's why crash diets are so popular, right? So everybody wants to get there and get there fast. It's kind of like we get to the point where we've realized that what we're doing isn't working. So if you're feeling really down and you think, okay, I'm feeling this way and I don't know how to get out of it, realize that this is all internalized. Nobody's keeping you from drawing. Nobody's keeping you from painting. It's got to come from within. So just like the day you decide I am going to lose weight, or I am going to go to the gym, or whatever, you need to pick up the pencil, you need to pick up the brush and get going. Let me see here. So I want to see. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can highlight some of these comments here. There we go. Okay, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing there and then kind of got lost. So let me skip back here. Where was that? Okay, so Robin says, lost the lens for my glasses. I can't see anything. Brought readers to get through, but geez, these suck. I want to paint and see, going through a hard time. Right now. Okay, so yeah, that is a little bit tricky in that respect. Well, this might be your chance to try some abstract painting. Let me see. Advice for an award-winning realism painter who has lost their mojo. I rarely sell. If I had money for every time someone tells me how talented I am and how beautiful my work is, I wouldn't need to. Yeah, that's almost like another video in terms of how to make money and everything. But when I was looking at my marketing, I was trying to upgrade my marketing and things like that, and I have to admit I haven't really applied as much of it as I should, and that's not because I don't know how or not wanting to, but just I only have so many hours in the day. Sometimes I think you almost need somebody to help you market, but yeah, but that's probably a video for another day. And anyway, so let's take a look here. I found an urban sketchers group here in Ottawa and am planning to join them when they go out sketching. Yes, that's an excellent idea. Getting outside in the outdoors and you can you get the sights, the sounds, the things you don't get in your studio. The smells and the conversations with people and stuff like that. So that's actually a really good thing to get into. One of the other things that I did was, and I know I'm kind of rambling it all over the place, but I'm thinking and talking as I go along here. But one of the things that I did was I joined a challenge. There's a lot of online challenges. Sometimes you can do like a 30-day challenge or a 1-week challenge or, 50 of something, you draw 50 cars or whatever. Pardon me. So that is something that you can consider as well. Interestingly, during COVID, there were a lot of groups, sort of these regular sketch groups that go out to sketch. Some of them were doing it during COVID, but others would. I saw one group that what they did creatively was they went to Google Maps and they selected an image, like you can go to the street level image on Google Maps, and they just picked something in their area. So this one group that I visited, they all picked something from their own area and shared that, so that something in their neighborhood or something, you know, from their city or a landmark in their area or something like that, and that's what they would do. So so I thought that that was a creative a fix during COVID. Thanks, Erica. That's a good suggestion. Discover the beauty of learning online. I can learn what I want and need at my own pace. Yeah, and that is the advantage to online learning is you can hit replay, you can hit pause, and you can find a level that you can understand. There's enough people producing material that if one instructor doesn't sort of speak your learning language, you're bound to find somebody. So it's great. And look at the community we have here. Like I see many regular faces here, and I love that. You know, I love that, you know, there's a group that I can pretty much count on showing up every week. You know, you guys are great. And you know, I feel like we're kind of a little bit of a family at this point. So I really like that. So our Edge says, I'm a nurse, now retired, always wanted to learn watercolor. In my work, I saw so much that was beyond ugly, I bet. So I wanted to create something beautiful. Oh, grateful for this format and for you, Shelley. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me just continue talking here for a minute and drawing my little vase. And I'm struggling a little bit with this perspective because I'm kind of looking down on it, and it's not a square vase or anything like that, but I'm working at it here. And like I said, it's a sketchbook, so let's face it, it's not going to be a work of art. Let's get my eraser here. Just get rid of that line and okay, so I've got my little drawing, and I guess I can do a little bit of a shadow here. There's my little drawing. Now I'll pick up a brush. Doesn't matter. I'm not doing a masterpiece. I'm just doing I'm getting my motor skills going. So that's what I'm going to do, is just get my motor skills going. I'm not really looking to create something that's going to go in the Louvre or anything like that. So this causes me, so as I'm doing this, you notice I get quiet. It's that concentration, right? So this idea of concentrating while you are painting, you can't worry and do this at the same time. That's, I guess, the point I'm trying to make. You cannot worry. You can't fuss about other things in your life when you are focused. Now, this may be just a temporary thing, but it's amazing how it does have long-lasting effects on your attitude, on your feelings, and you know, and that's what a lot of this is about, right? Is how you're feeling about things. If you're feeling negative, you know, that's sometimes comes across, and I know you've seen artwork from other artists where the artwork is dark. You know, people going through a dark time will paint sad subjects or even controversial subjects. Good, get that out. If that's what you want to paint, that's fine. I think sometimes you just need to sort of get that off your chest, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of little shiny spots on this, so I'm going to use a little bit of white paint, I think, in the end, but I'm just going to paint this in here. I'll put my white on with white, which I don't normally do, but in my sketchbook, I'm not that concerned about it. All right. So negativity, express it. Don't go on Facebook and express your negativity. Do it in your painting. Like, get it out through, through other means, more productive means. And I'm trying to think of somebody who's almost like not a political painter. I don't want to use that term, but like The Scream, for example. You look at that painting. Is it beautiful? Is it uplifting? Of course not. It's expressive, and it is something that obviously the artist was feeling, and it's very famous, right? So it sometimes you can connect to that kind of thing. Not everything that you paint has to be something for a show or for a gift or for hanging on the wall. Not everything. So go ahead, just pick up your brush and get it moving. I think that is half the battle. It's like losing weight. You can't go to the gym and exercise for one day and expect that to be a fix. You're going to have to make it into a routine. This is going to have to be a daily part of your life. And I think that for me during COVID, that was an extremely important part of it. Now, we all tell ourselves lies, like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to sketch in my sketchbook every day. So one of the things that doing this channel did for me, I know you think I did it for you, but I actually did it for me. And I'm happy that you're along for the journey, but I did it for me because for me, it made me accountable. I have to show up because I said I was going to show up, right? And I don't like to break my commitments. So I made myself accountable by promising I would be here every week. Now, occasionally I have to miss, but for the most part, I come every week. And I don't come because, I said so, but I actually really enjoy these sessions where we get together and we learn, and I get to try all different kinds of subjects, which had I been just painting on my own, I might end up just doing too much of the same old. But I teach a lot of different classes, and I can't teach the same thing in the city next door as I do in my own town. So I have to mix it up so that, I'm not competing with myself in terms of number of students and stuff. This isn't watercolor paper, by the way, so this is not, doesn't behave quite like my regular watercolor paper, but I'm just splashing paint around, so it doesn't matter. It's sketchbook. I like sketchbooks that have like a good sturdy tooth to it so that I can apply wet washes. So you have to buy a sketchbook that will take water media if you're going to do something like this. But yeah, I think that making yourself accountable is a really important thing. Anne is saying, morning to everyone. This subject sounds much like a group I am part of. Outside painting in the summer and challenges presented each week from countries of the world. Yeah, there's been a couple of those groups that do that, and it's a way to connect with people all over the world, really. Kind of cool. And so I think that these connections that we make, I mean, we're all human. We need connection. I think that these are very important things. Just as human beings, I think this is important. Try to get away, try to keep focused on the good things that are happening in our painting communities, not dwelling constantly on the doom and gloom happening. Every time you turn on the the TV or open up your phone. So it's really easy to get sucked down that rabbit hole. It's like incredibly easy. In fact, the internet is designed for that purpose, right? That it's just going to pull you in, because of course that is how the advertisers make their money, or how they make money on their advertising. So it's in their best interest to to get a captive audience and show you what they think you want to look, because it'll keep you online longer, and it will be able to show you the ads and things like they're watching, right? So don't get hung up on the fact that you're being watched. I mean, sometimes the algorithms are really kind of a good thing, because then you're not seeing a bunch of things that aren't even relevant to you. But at the same time, it is designed to keep you here. And taking this sort of online marketing program is one of the things that taught me that that's exactly how the internet is working, and how to harness that and use it to your advantage, rather than to just be a sheep and following what they want you to look at. So I'm just going to add in some darks here, and I've added a bit of Payne's gray. I'm just using cobalt blue and Payne's gray here, and I'm looking for where dark areas are, and not painting where the lighter areas are. I'll pull out, I think, some white paint a little later on. But yeah, so share your ideas in the chat. I'd love to hear what did you do during COVID. It's interesting when I talk to people and how they managed through COVID. Is there seemed to be a lot of people said, "Oh, I didn't get anything done. I was going to do this, this, and this, and I just couldn't get around to doing it." Like you had all the time in the world, kind of thing, but you didn't take advantage of it. And it's all about how you're feeling. And I think that's so important, that you can take a negative and convert it to a positive, but you have to push yourself to do it. It's kind of like, it's so easy to get pulled in and into so much negativity. And I'm not telling you to not be concerned about world matters. These things are important, but don't spend every waking hour of your day dwelling on these things. It will eat you up. And so connect with people. People who, aren't going to pull you down into that dark space. Positive people. One thing about positivity, and I love this about positivity, it is just as infectious as negativity, if not even more. I mean, when you see somebody who's really negative, you're instantly feeling kind of repelled, right? When you hear people always complaining and complaining and complaining, this isn't right, that isn't right, and so on. It's like, oh, I want to get away from this person. But people who are positive, oh my goodness, those are your people. They're the people that you should gravitate to. Linda says, I'd like to know your video setup. If you would send a photo of the setup and info, I have taught my students how in person, but want to share with others as you have done. Okay, yep, I can do that. Actually, maybe one day I will. I'll have a day where I just talk about the tech stuff, or maybe I'll just do a video on what I have done to create a lot of my online workings. a lot of this I had to learn. I had to buy new equipment when I started COVID. But yeah, back to positivity. Uh, yeah, positive people. That's who you want to hang out with. Not the negative Nellies in the world. They'll just pull you down. And we automatically know this. I mean, we automatically react to people that are negative. We want to be away from them. We don't want to pull them closer. One thing I have found is that when somebody's negative, somebody's mad about something, they want to rally other people that are negative and get, sort of validate, I suppose, their negativity, right? They're mad about something and yeah, and then, that's how they get kind of crowds of people that are rioting and things like that. Like, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Sometimes you have to do that to, if somebody's doing you wrong, you do need to fight back, kind of thing. But we all know the type. There's people that if you're having a class and they'll look at their painting and they'll go, "Oh, my painting looks terrible. I'm going to have to start over. Mine doesn't look like yours." That's almost like a cancer in a class. As soon as you or someone else in the class says that, the person next to them says, "Oh, well, mine's got this, and I don't know if they're trying to make the person feel better or validate their feelings or not. But isn't it better to say to that person, "I really like this part. Look at this part of this. Oh, that is so nice that you did." And the person will stop feeling so negative about their own work. Some people just don't have the filters to withhold their negativity, which I sometimes see in my comments here in the videos too. And if you have something negative to share with me, that's fine. You're welcome to do so. I may not do anything about it if I feel it's just being negative, but you're entitled to it if you want to. I do think though that negativity is generally something that we aren't looking for, most of us. I think you'd agree with that. We're not looking for negativity. We're looking for positivity in the art world, for the most part. I'm a kind of person who I like beautiful art. What I mean by beautiful is not depressing art, not dark, dull colors and things like that. I like the bright colors, the things that make me feel good, kind of thing. Lorraine says, "Hi Shelley, you're very therapeutic today. You look relaxed with a cuppa in your hand. It's like chilling out with Shelley." Good. I feel like that too. I feel like I'm sitting here with a coffee, having a coffee with you guys. And I like that you're feeling that vibe, because that's how I approach these Wednesday demos. I feel like we're just, we're like friends now, right? I think we're friends. So Katrina says, "I'm always impressed how Shelley can be alone in her studio over there and chat away like we're there with her. If I were to do a video of chopping veggies, I'd sputter out in minutes." I have all my videos up here from when I started. And if you go back to some of the earlier ones that I did, they're pretty cringy, actually. So you go back and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Shelley Pryor," and and you can tell, you can just totally read the awkwardness, and I almost deleted them. They were so embarrassing, but But what the heck, leave them on there, and you know you can go look those up if you want to. But I'm always learning, and hopefully you're always learning. I find that if you adapt learning of some kind, you know, this is when you're feeling stressed or down, learning is a great way to sort of overcome a lot of that stagnation, I guess, where you feel like you're not progressing and things like that. Well, the only way you're going to progress is by picking up a brush and doing it. So I think that's an important thing personally. But yeah, trying to make this look transparent. So I've got light areas, dark areas, and you know, these lighter blue areas, that's going to make this look like it's see-through, which it is. You know, it's a fairly transparent bottle. You can see my hand through it and things like that. So better get that lined up the same way. But yeah, the positivity, the learning something new. These are all really good things to be focusing on. Basically, you're distracting yourself, but you're also benefiting yourself by learning, right? So you're distracting yourself from the negativity, and you are improving maybe your painting skills, and that instantly changes your mood, your feelings. You know, especially those of you that might be stuck, might be feeling quite stuck in where you are, you know, with your painting progress and stuff like that. There are a lot of really great watercolor channels online besides mine. Let me give you some names. James Gurney, Leron Yankonsky, Emily Olson, and I know many of you are watching other videos as well. Go ahead and list some of those wonderful other channels in that you know online. A little tricky for me to paint and think of them all at the same time, but there's a lot of really good ones. Paul Clark, Tim Wilmot, and I'm sure there's tons that I'm probably forgetting. But there's a lot of people that you can learn from, different ways of painting, right? Like I've got one way of painting, and you know, somebody else has another way of painting. Learn the different ways, because you know the way that I paint, you know, you might be interested in watching me do it, but that's not really your thing. You know, if you want to learn something that relates to something a little looser, perhaps. Try someone like Leron Yankonsky. He paints realism, but in a very looser technique than I do. You know, his paintings have more of a painterly feel about them, and but they're still realistic and everything, but they're looser and more painterly. Whereas I'm a little bit more realistic and that sort of thing. There's a lot of, I'm trying to think of the people who tend to produce a lot of videos. And because there are a lot of channels out there, but they, you know, some of them they're not producing a lot of videos. They're, you know, they might have a few on their channel, but they're not as regular as others. So that's what I'm kind of looking for here, is some of the other channels that do that. Every once in a while my scroller stops scrolling. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, and if you're in the chat and you watch other channels, go ahead and list them below. I'm of the mindset that we're all in this together. We're all a family. Even the other YouTubers and things like that. There's so many good ones out there. Share the wealth. I think if I'm not sharing because I'm worried somebody's going to stop watching me, then that's to me that's just silly. I mean, I think if somebody's watching me and the way that I paint and that's the way they want to learn, that's the way they want to learn. I'm not going to be jealous of other channels. I think that's silly. I think we're all in part of the same family. I like the idea that we have different styles, we have different things to offer. So many great painters out there that are willing to share, and I love that. All right, I think I'm going to take a little bit of white paint here, and I'm going to add the shadow. I haven't done that yet. So my shadow, then I'll take out some white paint and put a few highlights on here. But the shadow is still a little bit on the blue side because it's reflecting that color, but it's not as dark. It's hard to spread out a wash on this on this type of paper, but I'll do my best. But yeah, and Andrew Geeson, Oliver Pyle, yeah, those are good ones too. I've seen each of those. Charles Evans, Thomas Schaller. I don't know does Thomas have a channel? I don't know. He's a great watercolor artist for sure, but I don't know that he does a lot. Stan Miller, yep. Steve Mitchell. Oh yes, how could I forget Steve? Him and his skeleton Reese. Very nice painter. Great at sharing work and all of that sort of thing. Matthew White, yeah, lots of great names here. Jean Haynes, yep. Rachel Parker Varner, yep. Yeah, share all these. These are great channels. Actually, they all have wonderful channels that are very good at sharing their knowledge. And yeah, so keep them coming. Lois and Morgan. Yeah, so a couple of these I haven't even heard. Uh-oh. Sorry, Angela, that yes, we are on daylight savings time now, if that's what you're referring to. Yes, we did change a week or so ago. But, I always have replays. And in case, if you do venture down this learning journey or this road to better watercolor, that sort of thing, if you're not aware of it, I have lots. I mean, like 150 or something like that. 150 full length lessons on my YouTube or on my website. That's my website right there. And they are very reasonable, very reasonable. So, really good bang for your buck. Full length demonstrations where I talk about, and with those you get line drawing, you get a reference image, you get a materials list, you get progress photos, all of the things you're not necessarily getting here. So check those out on my website. My recorded Zoom workshops that I've done. So when I've taught my Zoom workshops, I record it start to finish in real time. There's no sort of skipping over anything. It's there from start to finish, and those are all available. I also have, in case you're not aware of it, I also have lists of suppliers. If you know of a supplier of, say, paper or paint or any art materials, anything related to our watercolor journey, by all means, send me a message or put it in the chat or something, and I'll add it to my list on my materials page on my website. They are categorized by where they're located. So, for example, if you're looking for a Canadian supplier because you live in Canada, you can see which suppliers are in Canada and that sort of thing, or in the UK or in the US or wherever else. So you know what's sort of in your area. Yeah, and if you haven't done it yet, you could subscribe to this channel. That was my little ad. So you can subscribe to this, and there's a bell icon. So if you're worried about missing stuff, there's a little bell icon that will notify you when I do go live. So anyway, Cheap Joe's, I understand, is going to be closing their doors. That's a long-time legacy. Joe Miller unfortunately passed away last year, and the family has kept it going, but yeah, they're closing down. So that's sad for us in terms of places to buy materials, but that's why it's good to have some resources. I know a lot. There's fewer art stores available now than there was, at least certainly brick and mortar buildings. Most art materials seems to be online now. So, but anyway, let me see. Make sure I haven't missed any comments here. Where's my little scroller? There we go. All right. Okay, Terry Duval. Yeah, he's some of these people are some of these artists that people are listing in the chat are people that I connect with on other social media platforms, not necessarily YouTube. So they're fabulous artists, but they don't always have YouTube videos. And so you might catch up with them, say, on Instagram or on Facebook or someplace like that. There's other platforms, I'm sure. Louise DeMasi, of course, yes. She's got a wonderful channel, too. She does quite a bit of stuff. Louise Hay, yeah. Lois and Morgan. Yeah, a couple of repetitions here. Oh, thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. And I want to tell, speaking of being a community and everything, I want to mention to you that a few of you have written to me and expressed concern for me, for the country, and I'm deeply touched by those emails and messages of support. So I really appreciate that, and some of you have hit the what do they call it, the thanks button or whatever. I forget what they call it. Anyway, have contributed to my channel here on YouTube, and I thank you very, very much for that. So keep the positivity going, and be kind. When you see that somebody else is down and needs a friend, be their friend. If it's a painting friend, offer to paint together, or invite them for coffee and tell them to bring their sketchbook. It doesn't have to be a big ordeal. Sometimes the smallest gestures can make all the difference in the world. So while the world is sort of in turmoil, try your best to maintain that positivity. So on that note, I think that I'm going to sign off for the day and do something for yourself. Pick up a brush, just doodle something. That didn't take me very long. I did that while I was talking. You can paint while you're on the phone, anything like that. So keep the positivity going, and we'll see you next week. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye.